Welcome everyone to day 29 of 1000. Today we are looking at how to discover your marketable skills in 8 simple steps. I have found over the years of working with people, with executives, with small business owners, with individuals, with employees, with parents, with children, that people struggle to find what their marketable skills are. People struggle to find out, to actually articulate what their talent is. And then, can you imagine one of the most mysterious stories I've read about, true story, a couple of years ago, was a homeless man who died. And they found a lot of money, about $23,000. And that was when $23,000 was $23,000 with him. And he died of starvation, died homeless. And this is exactly what is happening. That's the metaphor of many of our lives. We are not doing well in terms of how we have defined success for ourselves and families because we've not taken the time to discover what our marketable skills are. And then all the returns, all the financial success you will ever achieve while you are alive is tied to your skills. It's tied to your skills. It's tied to your capabilities, your marketable skills. So we're going to talk about it today, and I will lead you through very simple steps to discovering what your marketable skills are and to articulate them. As you join us, please introduce yourself in the chat and let us know who you are, where you are watching from, because we're also creating a community. In the next 1000 days, I'm going to be very certain that many of you are going to start doing business with one another from different countries. I'm also very certain that many of you in the 1000 days to come are going to get married on this platform. You know, we're going to have somebody from Egypt getting married to somebody from Angola. We're going to have somebody from the Philippines or Pakistan getting married to somebody from Nigeria and all that, so it's a community. So introduce yourself and let us know where you are watching from. And as soon as you join, share this live. I can't imagine any of your friends missing this. Hassan Kabir is joining us from Sierra Leone. Malik, thank you for sharing. Patricia, thank you for sharing. Please, everyone, hit the share button right now. You do not want anyone that you love to miss this conversation. You don't get it anywhere else. Okay, now, let me show you a couple of incredible things that skills are doing for some people. And then my brothers and sisters from different countries, other countries, please forgive me that I'm going to use examples in Nigeria, but they are very, very universal. They are very relatable. And as I'm sharing this example, if there is anyone in your country that also does something similar, please type it in the comment section so that we will know. And then if no one is doing it, I'm hoping that after this conversation tonight, that you will be the one to start it, because marketable skills are just incredible. Now, this is a gentleman called Adeyinka Taufik Temitokbe. His brand is Topsy Cut. This gentleman does a 2-day barbering masterclass, 2 days, for 500,000 Naira. And his class usually is fully booked. Now, for those of us who don't use the Naira, recently, a survey came out that most people in Lagos, which is the economic hub of Nigeria and West Africa as it were, that most people, almost 80% of the people, earn 100,000 Naira and less. So the 500,000 Naira you're seeing here is a 5-month salary, 5 to 6 month salary, like half a year of most people in Lagos. But this guy collects that from individuals for 2 days. 2 days. And he has people on the wait list. Now, there's also this young lady, all she does is teach people how to exchange the Naira to the Chinese currency, the Yuan. That's all. And people are paying her 200,000. For those of us who are not in Nigeria, that's the equivalent of 3 months' salary. And people pay to get this knowledge. People pay her. People line up to give her money to teach them how to exchange Naira for the Yuan. That's not all. I find Adejike Lasisi's also very, very interesting. Young lady. She has a low ticket and then she has a high ticket. And then what she does, 3 days, and then she teaches people how to access funding and global opportunity. And people pay for her knowledge. How about this other one, same lady, $5,000 for 3 days to teach people recycling business, to teach people what she knows. I don't know whether you've begun to feel what I'm feeling, just how powerful it is to know what your skill, your passion, your knowledge is, and to be able to monetize it. You should stop complaining about money because everyone here has a skill. But the problem is that many of us don't know how to discover that. But that's what you're going to learn tonight. How about Vicky James? Does anybody know Vicky James? Or you've heard about her? Type in the chat. If you know Vicky James, just type yes in the chat. In the meantime, David Obinna, thank you for joining us. David Obinna says there's another brand, Sim Awaji Insight. I don't know if that is your brand. Mutari Ibrahim Babangida, thanks for joining us. Joseph Obu, yes, Malik, she really is. She really is. Apparently, you know her. Okay, so Vicky James charges 1 million Naira. Okay, that is one person's annual salary here. And she charges that for 3-day class. And the last one that she did, just a match, her class was oversubscribed. That is the power of skills. That's the power of knowledge. That's the power of passion, monetizing your skills. Okay? And now, who doesn't know Hilda Baci? I don't remember, I didn't follow up whether she eventually won. Okay, that's what she's actually carrying there, the Guinness Book of Records for cooking. And then what does she do? She monetizes it. And then the very first class, cooking class that she held, this young woman made 187 million Naira. And then she didn't stop there because she's been running cooking classes online. She said that she was on her way to making 2 billion Naira this year. And then you sit there and complain. Oh, the economy is bad, the exchange rate and all that. Yeah, those things are there. But you see, these people are taking responsibility, taking ownership for their future. They are not leaving it in the hands of government or in the hands of the economy. They are using their skills, their passion, and their knowledge to create incredible wealth for themselves. Why am I doing this? My name is Ogbo Awoke Ogbo. I woke up about a month ago now, and then I asked myself, if I had only 1,000 days to live and I have to impart the most valuable lessons of my life to the world, what would it be? So I decided that there were 3 things I was going to focus on if I had 1,000 days to live to teach the world. The first thing is how to attain financial independence. Most of the things that we've heard about financial freedom out there are wrong. And you can see it from all the comments. When I make a simple post on Facebook, you can see all the incredible, mindless, senseless, outright insane comments that I get, just showing me how far this generation is, from what it really takes to make money legally and smartly. So they shun things like delayed gratification. How in the world are you going to become rich without delayed gratification? Since the beginning of the world, patience has always been a strategy for building wealth. But when I post things like that, You see comments like, oh, get away, you are not rich, and you want to teach other people to be rich, and things like that. Yeah, I mean, just some mindless, toxic comments from young children who were born yesterday, who are like the age of my grandchildren. So, but I'm determined to set this right, okay? To help you to develop the skills for financial independence. Second thing that I want to focus on, because I have been incredibly blessed to work with the Stanford Graduate School of Business in the Stanford Seed program to help businesses to find transformation, to find scaling and growth. I have taught hundreds of business owners and business leaders in Lagos Business School, China Europe International Business School, and all that. So just putting all that together, because I know that for many of you, that's not affordable. Many of you can't go to Stanford. You can't afford it. It's $100,000 down for the executive MBA, which probably has gone up, now. Some of you can't even afford the MBA, for Lagos Business School. But I decided, I'm going to democratize this knowledge and teach you what it takes to structure your business, to build systems and processes to allow your business to survive beyond you. And then the third thing I want to teach the world, if I had 1,000 days to live, is how to bring back the family to the center. How to bring back family values, the traditional family values of father, mother, children, the traditional values of putting your family ahead of money, ahead of finances, so that you cannot leave your family in the Gambia or in Nigeria or Ghana and go to live in London for 14, 15 years. That is insane. I want to change that. Families should be together. They should grow together. So that's what we are doing for the next 1,000 days. We've done it every day for 29 days. Today is 29th day, and it's 8 p.m. GMT +1 every day. But on special occasions like now that I'm running another challenge that conflicts with the 8 p.m., we will run it by 6 p.m. and you will always get the information. So what you want to do is make sure you are following and that you turn your notifications for live on, so that anytime I go live, you will get the notification. Okay, so today we are going to be talking about discovering those skills. But I want to make a note here that 97% of your current financial struggle are psychological, and 97% of your future financial struggle will also be psychological. So a lot of people are out there running after money, instead of paying attention to what's going on in their mind, because it is your mind that is producing your financial experience. Okay, so type in the comment section, my mind produces my financial experience. Type it in the comment section, everybody. My mind produces my financial experience. So if you are not having a very healthy financial experience, and then you are not happy with the way things are in your finances, the place to look for is not the bank account. The place to look is not the bank account. You can't find the fault, the problem, the root cause in your bank account. Where do you find it? In your mind, in your psyche, in the way you think. Money and mindset go hand in hand. You can't separate them. Okay, so you can also type that in the chat. Okay, so the first one is, my mind produces my financial experience. If that realization can take hold in your mind, you have solved 97% of your problem. Because a lot of people are busy fighting the struggle instead of looking into their mindset. This is why I do what I do. And this is why you should expose yourself to information, to coaching, to mentorship, to reading, to books that can help build your psychology. Because money is 97%, 95, 97% mindset, the way you think. Do you know why? This is why you live in the same city. You probably live in the same estate. And then somebody is doing extremely well in that environment. No connections, no connections. I'm not talking about politicians or any of those things. Just normal person like you. And why you are not doing very well. And the same environment, the same country, the same local government. The difference is not the local government, the difference is not the geography, the difference is in the mindset. This is also true when you think about, when you come to the countries, you're thinking about entire cultures or entire countries. It's the same thing. Okay? So if you move all the people who live in, trying to find a city that's not doing very well, a town that's not doing very well in Ghana, but let's say in Lagos, the part of Lagos we know is not doing well is Ajegunle. Ajegunle is like what the Black Americans call the hood in Black America. Now, if you move all the people in Ajegunle, you move them to, let's say, my favorite city in the US. It used to be San Diego, but I think I'm loving North Carolina for a reason. Okay, so let's say you move all the people from Ajegunle to San Diego, and you move all the people from San Diego to Ajegunle. I am betting you that in 5 years, Ajegunle will become like San Diego, and San Diego in the US will become like Ajegunle. Because the problem is not the geography, it's not where you live. The problem is the mindset of the people who live there. Are you getting this point? This is really very important that you understand how powerful this is. Malik says, the same boiling water that hardened the egg softened the potato. Oh my goodness. This is a quotable, this is a powerful proverb. This is powerful. So the same boiling water that hardened the egg softened the potato. This is amazing. This is amazing and very true. Yes, our mindset indeed produces our financial experience. You know, I teach people this. You know, when I come out and say, people think I'm talking woo, but it's not. It's not. Your mind, your mindset produces your financial experience. If you actually understand that and you embrace it, it can change a lot of things. Because you don't want to work on the struggle. You want to work on the struggle. The struggle, you know, when you are struggling financially, you can confirm, many of you here, financial struggle, because I've been there. You know, when you see a python, like you watch National Geographic, and then you see a python wrap itself around its prey. It wraps itself around its prey and it keeps it. As long as the prey is not moving, it stays. Then whenever the prey moves, it tightens more. Then the prey moves again, it tightens more. That is exactly how financial struggles treats. That's why you find you've been having financial struggles, not just for 1 week. If financial struggle is something you just have for 1 week and it goes, a different thing. But for 1 year, for 2 years, for 3 years, for 5 years, for 7 years. Why? Because like Malik said, the boiling water that hardened the egg softened the potato. Powerful, powerful proverb. Okay, so let's talk about the skill discovery metrics. So I'm going to give you the metrics at the end of this, but I want to take you through the 8 steps, one after the other. It is very, very simple. After that, and I'll give you the metrics so you can use it and find yours. So for each step, I give an example and I also provide a quote that can allow you to help you to think through that. So we are asking, how do you find your skills? Your marketable skills, like the people I showed you at the beginning, who are marketing their skills and their passions and their knowledge and making a whole lot of money in the same economy where people are complaining. I know a man who is making money in Nigeria and sustaining his family in the US from money from Nigeria, even at the 1,600 Naira currency exchange. Okay, so the first one is to reflect on what you enjoy doing. There is a reason you enjoy it. There's a reason you were wired to enjoy doing what you are doing. So passion leads to mastery, because you see, when you are passionate about something, the tendency is to practice it often, to practice it. I watched Kobams. Kobams is one of the greatest musicians, alive in Nigeria right now. I watched him grow. I watched him grow in the same choir, in the same community. I watched him grow, and then at some point we lived in the same estate opposite one another. And then I would go to his house, and he had this beautiful piano, and he would still be in his pajamas. So much passion. Now we hear about Kobams. Does anybody know Kobams? Type yes if you know Kobams. Kobams, if you know Kobams, just type yes. Let me even gauge, how much of you know Kobams. And today he's an international figure. He's wanted everywhere. He's incredibly talented, and you can be sure that he does not have money problem again for the rest of his life. And then what did it? It is his passion. So he loved music. In fact, I know him so well. He went to the University of Lagos. He started doing law. And I was applauding him. After first year, Kobams came to say, Uncle Ogbo, I'm quitting the university. I felt a deep sense of love, because he's brilliant as a person. And the law profession was just the perfect thing for him. And I'm like, oh my goodness, no, you're not dropping out. And he said yes, because the passion for music was stronger than what he was doing for law. And I'm glad he followed his passion. Okay, so that is step one. Step number two, consider what other people often ask you for help with. It's important, when colleagues in the office come to you and they're always asking you for advice, maybe for presentation, or they ask you, sometimes even in the office, they ask you for relationship advice. Some random person just comes, I'm having issues with my spouse, and all that. And you're like, where is this coming from? While you are answering that one, another person, unconnected, also comes to ask you. So you need to find out, that sort of thing. The task that people frequently seek your advice on everywhere you are. So there was a time in my life, mothers, as if they rang a bell. Mothers were bringing their sons to me, their teenage sons and their younger sons. One of them said, she called me from Ghana. Her son was 15 years old at the time. That was the saddest one. She said, Mr. Ogbo, I see the traits of my husband in this boy, and I do not want him to be like his father. Please, how can you help me? As she was talking, another one dragged her own son to my office. So look out for those things that people are typically always asking you advice on. It could be something technical, like, PowerPoint presentation or using Excel. Everybody comes to you for that. Okay. So the third step is to identify what you have been recognized or praised for. What is it you've been recognized? Because recognition is a clear sign of a valuable skills. That recognition is coming because there's something valuable that is being recognized. So what have you been awarded? What do people typically compliment you for? Maybe without you even knowing it. You dress well and go out every day because you just love to dress well. You didn't do it for anybody to compliment you. But everywhere you go, people are talking about, this man, your fashion sense is out of this world. The way you dress, that's, and you wear the same shirt that everybody wears, the same fashion, the same style everybody's wearing, of your buba or your blouse or skirt, something. But people compliment you. Or maybe you receive in your office award for leadership, award for initiative, things like that. Okay. So recognition is a very, very clear sign of the fact that you have a valuable skill. And if people repeatedly recognize a particular skill, then I think it's a very good indicator that you have a marketable skill there. Are you getting value? Anybody getting value from this so far? Type value in the comment. Type value. And then those of you watching on YouTube, do the same thing. And then on YouTube, I need you to comment and I need you to share. People need to. Don't you believe that people need this information, that our society needs it? Because for me, this is like a breath of fresh air, a different content from the sort of things that we see. Because we can't build our country by dancing and shaking our buttocks. That's what's there on social media. We can't build a country on all these comedy skits and things that, So if you believe that we can transform this country and that it is with content like this, then I need you to share that conviction. Share it, share it, share it. Let people be, and then let them know it every day at the same time. All right, so I can see value, 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 value. Excellent. Value. Okay, great. Step number 4. Look at problems that you solve effortlessly. When I was teaching at the University of Maiduguri during my youth service, I was dissecting mosquitoes. I found it very intriguing and very exciting. I was harvesting mosquito eggs. There was a WHO program with the biological sciences of University of Maiduguri at the time I was there. So I was co-opted into that project, and I was very, very passionate about genetics at the time, which was why when they came up with their pandemic in 2020, I was like directly involved, because that thing was not vaccine, it was gene therapy. So look at the problems that you solve with ease. Okay, somebody has a problem with their car. You are not even a mechanic. They call you, you just hear things of, I think I know what is wrong. And even if you don't do it, you tell the mechanic this is what is wrong. There are people like that. There are people who solve technical problems, just very, very easily. If it's a machine, as long as it's a machine and there's a fault, they know what to do about it. Or you often find yourself naturally mediating conflicts in the workplace. You're the peacemaker. Once 2 people are fighting and then you come in there, it stops. So it might be that you are very, very skilled at conflict resolution. All right? The solution often turns out more beautiful than the puzzle. That is you, from Richard Dawkins. Now, step number 5 is list your knowledge and expertise. The day that changed my life many years ago was the day I actually sat down, and I told that story in my book. If you haven't read it, you need to read The Financial Freedom for Every Youth. So I told the day my life changed. It was self-awareness. I woke up one day and decided, okay, I need to make a list of all my skills, my abilities, my knowledge. Kofi Annan said that knowledge is power, information is liberating. So now, and I'm saying knowledge of yourself is actually power. And then information about yourself will liberate you. Because if you are carrying that knowledge, carrying the skills, carrying the expertise, and you don't know about it, you are not going to be liberated. And then you can't even go toward the next step to monetize it. So sit down with yourself, list all your expertise, all your skills, all your knowledge. I remember a few things on my list that day. I was, I'm very good at acting. So I came up with about 30 or 40 things I could do very, very well. And I was amazed. I could speak, I could write, I could create poem, I could write music, I compose music, I could play the guitar, I could speak a few other languages, at least conversationally. I could adapt so easily to a different culture. If you throw me into a different culture today, I will adapt like within minutes. I could easily build rapport. I can act. Many of you have not seen me, and then you've not seen me acting, but I can act and I can sing. So I made a list of all those things. Knowledge is power. Knowledge of yourself liberates you. Okay? Step number 6, assess your technical skills. So technical skills are in high demand, and they often translate directly into marketplace abilities. Okay, so maybe you have proficiency in Microsoft Excel, or right now You are the go-to person when it comes to data analysis in your team, or even you're at the top of the game in AI. You know so much about AI and all these AI tools as they are coming out, you know them very well. Even that is a skill, a competence of its own. Okay. Step 7, reflect on your past experiences, because experiences are also part of you. They contribute to your overall value. You know, what have you overcome in the past? What have you gone through? Where have you worked? Like you often hear me talk about my career with Shell and with Chevron. And see, it's really very powerful because it has become a part of my skill set. You know, having worked with those people is a very, very impressive part of my skill set, and then my credibility. And then it is to people, when they hear it, it immediately raises the sense of value, because if you are the kind of person to have worked in those two organizations, and for those two organizations to literally be dragging you, that is value. So reflect on your past experiences. The other thing in my own past experience is that it is strange, but I discovered that literally all the work I have ever done in my life, all the jobs I've ever done in my life, before Shell, after Shell, I was the very first person, the very first pioneer. It's like I opened that job. So my first job was SOS Children's Village, with SOS Children's Village as youth leader. I was the very first youth leader they ever thought about, since they started late 60s, early 70s. So they have been in Nigeria since the late 60s, since after the Civil War. And then I joined them in 1991, December. So you can imagine from 1971 to, for over 20 years or something that they've been there. Is it 20 or 30 years? I was the very first youth leader. From there, I went on to the Navigators. I was the very first person on that office, PRO, Communications Officer. From Navigators, I went back to postgraduate school, came out, then joined Shell. I was the very first Nigerian remote sensing person in the whole of Shell. The guy who was handling remote sensing at the time, before I joined the team, Mickey Brown, was a British guy. Then I left Shell and came to Chevron. I was the very, very first Nigerian GIS analyst, the very first on that job. As a matter of fact, Chevron employed me because they wanted me to replace Scott Hughes, the American who was handling it and then who was leaving at the time. These are more than coincidences. Then I went back to Shell and I was the very first GIS specialist in SNEPCO in Shell. Are these things coincidences? So it's telling me something about me. Every job I have ever done, I was the very first. Fast forward years later, I work with Stanford University, Stanford Seed. It looks like my slides have not been changing. Can you comment in the section? Have you been seeing the slides have been changing? This is incredible. It's like it's not changing. All right, comment in the section. It's like I'm still seeing they starting soon. Is that what you're seeing, or have you been seeing the slides? My slides have been changing. Okay, anyway, so reflect on your past experiences. And the final step, step 8, determine what you could teach someone else. Okay, determine what you could teach someone else. Okay, if you can teach it, you have mastered it. This is a powerful indicator of a marketable skill. What can you teach very well? Do you teach other people? Like one amazing young lady from, I believe she's from Enugu or so. This girl, as of the time that I interacted with her, spoke 8 languages, including Korean, Russian, Spanish. She spoke and wrote very well, French, Portuguese, and Japanese, German. Incredible young woman. And she never left Nigeria. And she learned it, so I think she is an indication that there is that polyglot, polyglots exist. And then she's now able to teach people languages, Chinese language that she She hasn't been to China. She doesn't, as of that time, she had not stepped out of Nigeria. She didn't have an international passport. Okay? So what is it you've taught someone else? Determine what that is. That would give you a very powerful indication of what your skill is in that area. So for example, you've been mentoring young professionals in project management. So it reflects your expertise in project management. Is this making sense? Very good. Okay, so finally, this is the skill discovery metric. So just putting everything, that all the 8 steps. So this is the worksheet. So what you can do is go ahead and screenshot this and then use those questions on the blank sheet to answer all those questions, so you can see all those factors from passion to the audience, recognition, problem solving, expertise, technical skills, experience, teaching. And then I have suggested questions you would ask yourself, and then how you should reflect on it, and then examples. Follow this. This can liberate you. What you're seeing there, what you're seeing on your screen right now is worth $1 million. Is worth $1 million. Because if you know yourself and then you know your skills, then you can be on the path to monetizing. After you have done that, review all your answers to those questions and then look out for the themes that are recurring. Okay, look out for the themes that are recurring around the areas that you excel and really love. Organize them into similar categories: your technical skills, interpersonal skills, emotional intelligence, all those things. Okay, then prioritize the strongest ones. When you follow this to find out the skills out of all these lists that you feel most confident and enjoy using, that, my friend, is your $1 million marketable skill. All right, so this is where we are going to end it this evening. So the outcome I'm expecting for you from this is to pinpoint one marketable skill. And then in subsequent days, I'm going to tell you how to create a sales funnel to begin to market your skills and make money, like the Hilda Baci of this world, and then the people I showed you at the beginning. Whatever happens, keep showing up. Don't be discouraged, because you have no idea what's coming your way next. And I will see you at exactly the same time, 6 p.m. tomorrow. Bye for now. Love you all.